Hi everybody, and welcome to this new show that we are trying out here today. But before we start talking about what the show actually is, we need to introduce somebody. Who the heck are you?
Hi, my name is Katie. I'm the community manager of Critical Reviews, and I put out the pictures on Instagram and soon to come to Twitter. So I hope you enjoy.
Yes, and she is fantastic, but she's also my sister. So enjoy her. You've maybe seen her in some streams and stuff, but we wanted to try something a little different today. We wanted to talk about something that means a lot to both of us. Something that we grew up doing. We were very lucky, very privileged to get to go to Walt Disney World. We'll start with Walt Disney World. Maybe we'll do Disneyland someday. But we wanted to talk about our top 5 favorite attractions at the Magic Kingdom. We wanted to start with one park. Maybe we'll go to more eventually. So let's just dive right into it. Katie, 5 of them. You gotta pick your first one. We're starting from the bottom, going to the top. So
starting with my 5th favorite ride, Thunder Mountain.
Big Thunder Mountain. Okay, why Big Thunder Mountain?
I think just growing up, riding on that, and seeing the possum hanging down and trying to hit it as we multiple times in a row.
Yeah, Big Thunder Mountain, I always remember kind of like being afraid of that one, and I remember being very close to one of the trash cans after one of my experiences. Just ran off there as a kid because I had this really bad tendency to shut my eyes on roller coasters as a child, which I don't recommend you do, especially after you've eaten a lot of food.
That's a mistake.
Yeah, so I would always I remember smashing my head like into a trash can. It was so great. Like, you know that the park attendants have seen it before, but Big Thunder Mountain, I won't lie to you, I was thinking about it and I wanted to put it on my top 5.
Yeah.
It's so close and I love Big Thunder now. My only issue with it is it's got 3 lift hills.
Yep.
So it's a longer ride because you're just kind of like, there's a lot of waiting. But in between it, it's pretty good and there's a really cool little story going there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So Big Thunder Mountain, is it at night? Is it better?
I think so. Personally, I like the ambiance of it.
Yeah.
And I also like sitting in the back.
Yes.
That needs to be mentioned. And also, Disney would probably hate me for saying this, but lifting your legs up a little bit so that the bar doesn't come down all the way so you can get some level and leverage as you're going up over those hills.
We don't recommend you do it, but if you do it...
Don't do it.
But if you do it...
But if you do it.
You get a little bit of airtime, which is great. Yeah, and with those lift hills, like you said, it's nice to be in the back because then you kind of whip it around a little bit faster.
Yeah, you're not like getting to the top and like starting to slowly go down. You kind of lose that magical effect as you're going down the track. So
For sure. Okay, number 5, good pick. All right, for number 5, for me, I had to put it on the list because it is a ride. She doesn't know exactly what all these are, but
I kind of can read it.
The first one, it's the People Mover.
Yeah.
Or Tomorrowland Transit Authority's People Mover. I love this one, and it's one of the ones I love to do first when I get to the Magic Kingdom because back in the day before Fast Passes, before we had smartphones and we could track all the times and stuff for rides, it would kind of give you a little feel for what the park was going to be like that day.
That's true.
So you get on this thing, takes you around Tomorrowland, you're going through multiple attractions, and it's nice and cool. You get like a bird's eye view. I love it.
It's nice, yeah.
I think it's very comforting, and I think a lot of older people like it too, because you just like get in this like open air thing, you just sit there, it's nothing crazy, but you just like get to sit in the dark for a bit.
Yeah.
I love it.
I like that you can go in and see Space Mountain too.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you've gone on it when space has been broken down, then you can see like the track.
Yes.
Which is kind of unusual, so that's pretty cool to see as well.
Yep, you get that, you get a little bit of Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger Spin.
That's
Space
true.
Ranger Spin, it's a hard one to say. And then you can see a little bit of like Disney's old like prototype for Epcot, which is really cool as well. And you can see in some of the gift stores. It's great. I love it, and it feels very futuristic to like be like, I'm up like 2 stories or whatever, just kind of looking around at everybody, just like, like whatever, or like 1 story.
And you get to see the hidden Mickeys. Now you're gonna wonder where they are, aren't
Yep,
you?
Hidden Mickeys. That's a top 5 list I've ever heard
We
one.
are not gonna tell you where they are, so look and let us know if you figured it out.
Yeah, if you find especially one on that, I can think of at least one. Anyway, People Mover, number 5. All right, number 4 for you. Hit me with it.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates! Oh my gosh, it's definitely not on my list. It is.
I was like, I don't know if you saw that in just a moment.
No. Why
That's
pirates?
good.
Why pirates?
I don't know. I think growing up that was just really fun, and like even just going through the line at night, there wasn't a lot of people that would do it at nighttime, so then you could just like, it kind of gave me a little bit of the chills.
Yes, for
going
sure.
through there.
For sure.
And then like if you go on, I think it's the right side, I want to say, in the standing line, there's like that little prison or
Yep. Yep, they're playing chess and stuff. Yep.
That always freaked me out.
Yep.
I was like, there are skeletons down there.
They're playing chess.
Don't move, because if you move, I'm just gonna lose my stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I remember going on that too. This was like before Pirates was a thing.
Yeah.
Like Pirates of the Caribbean before it was a big time movie. Like, so we could just walk on that ride when we were kids all the time. You're just like, I'm just gonna walk on. It's fun. It's totally fun.
I am kind of sad though that they got rid of the skeleton that like would talk as you're going down right before you went on the drop.
I think they just brought him back.
Did they bring him back?
I think they just brought him back.
Oh my god.
I think they take a picture there now. Maybe on the drop.
They take a picture?
Gotta make that money. I might be wrong on that, but...
Well, you'll have to let me know.
I'll have to let you know. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Pirates.
That's good. How about you? What's your 4?
Okay, number 4. Number 4.
Ooh.
So I wrote this down as number 5 at first, but then I was like, all right, People Mover is going to go underneath that. But there's one franchise that a lot of people don't associate with Disney maybe right away, but one that's like really hits home with me. One of my favorite dark rides replaced one of my favorite dark rides at the Magic Kingdom, but that's the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Or Winnie the Pooh, I freaking love Pooh Bear. Pooh is one of the greats. I love him so freaking much. And the one at Walt Disney World, you're in a honey pot as opposed to a beehive, which you have in Disneyland. But this one, it moves a lot more. This one, like when you get to the Tigger segment, you kind of bounce up and down. And when you get to the part when there's like the flooding and the raining, it like kind of back and forth, kind of sways a little bit.
That is cool.
I just love it. I'm not a huge fan of the Heffalumps and Woozles section of either ride. But the rest of it I just love. I love being in the 100 Acre Wood. I love all the characters. I just, I love Winnie the Pooh so much. And he's kind of a villain. I kind of like that about Pooh. He is all about it for himself. Like, he will trade everybody down the river for honey. But he's just kind of like, oh, just a small smackaroo. Like,
he's like, peace.
Yeah,
I
he's
need
like,
my honey.
Yep, and they're like, where's Winnie? And they're like, you know, it's a big party for Pooh. And he's stuck in a tree and he's just eating honey. He's like, yep, this is my life.
That's
I love
very
it.
true.
I loved it. I love Winnie the Pooh. The queue line is kind of interesting because you're like in a storybook in this one, which is kind of cool for some. I don't know if I like it as much as the one out in Anaheim. That one's a little bit different. But that one's like basically nothing. So I don't know. I love Winnie the Pooh though, and it replaced Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. So I just got it. And there's a nod to it in the ride. So
yes, there is. So
I love
you should
that.
look for that.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Like just kind of there.
Yep, it is just kind of there. Okay.
Scenery. Well, okay. Number 3.
Yeah. Well, unless you want to say anything about Winnie.
Winnie the Pooh. I was really sad because Mr. Toad's Wild Ride was literally my favorite ride of all time, you know, and they voted, and the vote for Mr. Toad was what picture? Do you recall?
It was, they had like Hook on there.
Yeah.
They had Winnie the Pooh.
It was Hook versus Winnie the Pooh. What are little kids gonna vote for? Winnie the Pooh.
I don't know what Peter Pan ride they were going to put in there, though. It was so weird.
I don't know.
And they actually, I researched this, people were protesting on the highways and in front of Mr. Toad to keep it around.
You're joking.
No, it was serious. Like, people didn't want it to die.
Yeah.
They tried.
I was one of those people.
It's still in Anaheim. You can still go to California.
It's
Disneyland.
fun. Yeah, it's a good time.
It's still good.
But
yeah.
Winnie the Pooh, it's fun.
But speaking of dark rides, I think I kind of know her list. But anyway. Oh! Unless you changed it. What's number 3?
No, it's still the same.
Okay, it's still the same.
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan.
In the same area.
Some would say it's not worth the wait. Is it worth the wait?
I think so. I think it's nostalgic.
Okay.
And I like just again, I'm really into ambiance. That's like my first thing about rides. If you like even just the seats, you were talking about like the honey pots versus, you know, that kind of stuff.
I think about these things.
I do too. But just getting on like a ship and then the lap bar comes down.
Yes.
And right you're coming in and like the kids are getting ready for bed and then there's Peter and he's just kind of chilling. And then you see Nana, which is one of my favorite parts.
Yep. Hits you hard.
Yep. And then you're over the city a little bit and then you're going to go see what's next. I'm losing my track.
Well, I mean,
it's been a couple years.
you go over London, which is great
London,
because then it's like that forced perspective because you're flying over it, and then you go into Neverland and they show you all that stuff,
Neverland.
and you know Captain Hook's firing at you. And
yeah, and I remember like that little cannon. I was like, oh,
yeah, you got to dodge the cannon.
Yeah, so that was cool. And then of course the croc. So.
Oh, I love the croc. I also love the transition that you get to see Peter and Hook fighting on the ship, and then you go behind the sail, and it's like Peter won. Like, don't worry about it.
They're all gone. They're done.
Yeah, help me, Mr. Smee, help me. Yeah, that one. I think that one because of the ride vehicle. I think because it's suspended, it definitely.
Yeah.
It lends itself to something different that other dark rides haven't done. Like other dark rides don't do that. I think the closest one I can think to is like E.T. and Universal has that. Where you can kind of go like flying around a little bit, but yeah,
that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it does take a while to get on there, and it's one of the ones that people rush to. Got to get a fast pass for it, please. Get a fast pass for it.
So it's worth being in the top 5.
Yeah.
What do you think about, other than anything else that
Yeah, well,
stands out to you?
let's see. I used to remember walking back on that one in the day. I don't know. Maybe times have changed. As a kid, I remember just going on later at night, just being like, walk on Peter Pan. But
Yeah.
maybe I'm crazy.
That's right.
Yeah. No, I like it. It stands up. I think the animatronics, they don't move too much, if they're
Yeah.
even called that. I don't even know if they're
Yeah.
that for that ride. They probably are, but that crocodile sitting in the corner, I will never forget. It's just sitting there with its eyes, just waiting, just watching. It's like, where's Captain Hook? And they're like, yep, we'll get him. We'll get him.
We'll get him.
Yeah, that one has what I love, too, in dark rides that I think Peyton, our friend from Seattle, he calls it plummeting action, where it's just like, you think Captain Hook's about to die, and then it's like, ride's over, and you're like,
Yeah, it's like...
you see like the ship kind of flying away in like a portrait, and you're like, what happened? Like, are Wendy and the kids still, like, John and Michael still there? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Just enjoy the ride.
Yeah. All right.
2, 3.
Number 3, you already talked about it though. Pirates of the Caribbean. The best dark ride
Yeah.
of all time, I think. And I know a lot of people would say Haunted Mansion. I get that. But
Yeah.
Pirates, and I will say this one is inferior to the one in Disneyland, because that one is nuts.
Yeah.
It's got 2 drops and longer scenes and stuff. But the queue line here, like you mentioned, Katie, is better. You go through like an old fort. It really sets the mood.
Mhm.
It's not the bayou, but at the beginning, it's pretty great.
Oh.
And I love starting off there. Just kind of this dark, like, there's like some ships maybe off in the distance on like some portraits or something. The skeletons that you mentioned.
Yep.
The cannons that are pointed towards the boats that you can walk by.
That's pretty neat.
But I love the beginning of that ride. I love it so much. That's my favorite thing about that ride. The creepy skeletons. My favorite one of all time is the guy hanging on. He's still steering the boat, lightning and stuff. And you're just like, that guy's committed. Like, I like that guy. And I love it. And they've added little things. They show like a mermaid skeleton there now. And they've like sometimes put the mermaids like in the water. Like they have like the song and they kind of would like show a little something. There's like not a mermaid there, but they try to add little things. They have their stupid little smoke screen where it shows like Davy Jones or like Blackbeard. And it's like, they're trying. They're trying. But
is the
I
one
love
in,
it.
is it France? Is that the one that I'm thinking of? No.
Like the new one, Shanghai?
Is it Shanghai?
The one where it's like nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's like crazy.
I want to go on that.
Yeah, let's go to Shanghai Disneyland. That one looks... Shanghai Disney is like... You're going backwards and there's like huge screens and stuff. No, they don't have... Disney World doesn't have that. Not yet. And I don't mind the Jack Sparrow stuff. I think it's fine. I love Barbossa, my boy. Shout out to Barbossa.
Yeah, that's
on the
pretty
ship, trying to kill Jack or trying to find him.
neat. Yeah,
I
that's
love
pretty
Barbossa.
neat.
But yeah, Pirates. I love Pirates.
That's great. Fantastic.
Seriously, my favorite. It's so good. Okay. All right. Now we've gotten through the top 3. Top 2. This is where it really counts. Silver and gold.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I think we have the same too.
I think we have, well, at least, yeah, number 2, we have the same one.
All right. What is it?
Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
Number
buddy.
2, silver. I was thinking about this for a while. I was like, oh, do I put Splash? Where does Splash go?
It's hard. Yeah.
Splash used to straight up terrify me. I was like so afraid.
Me too.
I remember the first time I went on it, I was like a little older than you should be to be afraid of it. And I saw this kid who was younger than me by quite a bit, couple of like heads shorter than me, and he was just ready to go again. And I was like, that kid didn't die, so I probably won't die. I love Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
It's such a weird ride.
It is kind of weird.
Basically, it's like Small World if it got kind of scary sometimes. Right?
That's an accurate statement.
Yeah, but like, why do you love Splash?
I know. I think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I was really scared of it. It took me a long time to get interested in going on it. I would actually go over, like, where the water was.
Oh, yeah, you
and
didn't have to
take,
go on
like,
it. Yep.
the stairs and just wait for a long time.
Yep.
It felt like 3 hours, but I think it was probably more like 5 minutes.
No, actually, I
don't know.
researched this today, or I heard it, that the one in Disney World is longer than the one in Disneyland, and it's about a
Right.
10-minute and 40-second ride.
Really?
It's a
Okay.
long one.
So it is long. Okay.
It's long.
Yeah.
So good.
It felt like 3 hours. But I guess I just enjoy the drops too.
Yeah. Mhm.
And that they vary and that you kind of go into like the laughing place is probably my favorite part.
That's a
and then
good
the creepy vultures, right?
Yep, creepy vultures, which are all
Yes.
dressed up.
They look dapper.
They look very dapper. No, we'll show you a laughing place. Like, I freaking...
That is creepy.
I love it so much.
And spot on.
I love it so much.
That's good.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, Chickapin Hill, the big drop.
Yep.
Obviously. Slip and Falls, the first drop you go down, at least at Disney World. You've got the Laugh-in' Place drop, and then you have like the little baby terrifying drop after the big drop.
That's the most terrifying.
You gotta watch out for that one, because they'll sometimes turn the water on in the summer and you'll get even more wet.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's not good. Splash Mountain's got a weird history, but I love that ride. And I love the story. I love the animatronics. I love the ambiance, because you feel like you're put into, like, the film, which a lot of these dark rides try to do. And I think that one does it very well. I will say, and this gets a little dark, there's a moment when, one of my favorite things, Brer Rabbit's hopping past, Brer Bear gets caught in his own trap, and Brer Fox like, what you doing up there, Brer Bear? And Brer Rabbit usually hops along with a little bindle and like a little sack like he's leaving.
Yeah.
One time he broke and he was stuck, and it looked like there was a stick right through old Brer, and it was like they didn't put the lights on him. And I was like, this is the best ride I've ever been on. It is so good. But besides that, I like, Brer Rabbit learns a pretty stupid lesson, because he's like, I probably shouldn't have left the briar patch. And then nothing really happens after that. But I love the ending scene with the big, boats there, and everybody's singing. They're all like, hey, welcome back. And yeah, I just think it's a really cool ride, and you really feel like you're going through the world. You're just a log on the river, just watching this all play out.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say about Splash? Did I cover it? Sorry.
That about does it.
Okay, fine. Then you got to do number one. What's your number one?
He didn't agree with me at first that this might be considered. We were trying to debate if it was like an attraction versus like...
It's a ride/attraction, so I feel like it could hit multiple notes, but anyway.
Carousel of Progress. It's on my list. It's my top, and... Stop laughing.
Not a joke, everybody. She's serious.
It's not a joke, okay? I love it. So much.
Okay.
Do you know why?
Why do you love Carousel of Progress?
I just like going and chilling in the theater.
Okay, it's like, I like a 30-minute cold nap. It's pretty great. And now
I don't nap.
Universe of energy is gone.
Oh, no, I love it because I love the story of this family, like, transitioning from, the one time to the other. And then, just so you know, or if you've never paid attention, the dog never ages.
Yeah.
He's just like, row,
it's like...
And he's just chilling.
A 60-year-old dog.
Yeah.
Or more. Like 80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it just kind of like gave me a little bit of a nod back to the day, and I really like Broadway and like old style musicals, and so like watching that, it kind of brings me back to those movies
for sure.
and stuff like that. So
yeah, totally.
I just really enjoy that.
Yeah, well, and it also feels like it's a part of Walt's history.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is so cool because that was one of the attractions at the World's Fair back in the day, and it's still going today, and it's crazy to think that's still going. And it's a really interesting ride mechanic because you're sitting in a theater that like moves around in a circle.
Yep.
So you like see a scene, move around, see a scene, move around, see a scene, kind of back to where you start. But yeah.
The only unmagical thing about it is that they don't tend to turn the lights off in between, so when you're transitioning from one era to the next, you see like both next to each other, so you're like, oh, the guy's there and he's there, and
that's true.
But I mean, I just think it's kind of funny.
Katie wishes that you could just turn the lights off for everybody else, so you'd be like, it's a great, big, beautiful, and like people are transitioning into like just darkness, and you're like, uh-oh, I guess our technology advanced too much. Now we're in the darkness. Like, yeah. I also like that it's each season.
Yes,
which is cool because you jump like kind of every generation, so like 25 years, and it'll be like, oh, it's it was summer, now it's fall, and then it goes to winter and does like a Christmas time thing, which is now like modern day. Like their future is our modern day now. It's like they're doing VR and stuff, and
that is true.
Yeah, no, it's a good attraction.
Yeah,
it's a hybrid though,
and I think I like the family too.
Family's good. Who's your favorite?
Grandma, probably.
I was gonna say the grandma. It's so easy, especially when she's getting like high score on that game at the end.
She's like, just playing with
so
her
good. Yeah,
that was pretty good. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's fine.
Yeah, good pick.
How about you?
All right, number one, we're sticking in Tomorrowland.
Ooh.
It's Buzz Light. No, it's Space Mountain. It's Space Mountain. I love the mountain ranges, and we couldn't do a top 5 list without talking about the big 3, which maybe it's changed. I don't know if Dwarf's Mine Train. I don't think that's a mountain, but there's Everest now, Expedition Everest, but. Space Mountain, another ride that made me desperately sick when I was a child. Or like, probably like a young teen, because I was still scared to go on that. Yeah. I remember going on it and like shutting my eyes and coming off it and the world just like shook. I was just like, and it's really bad because when you get off of it at the end, they have you on this like, this people mover, this like escalator that's like a flat escalator that you go through like multiple scenes. And I remember thinking like, I am going to die here. Like, everything was just shaking. I was like, why would they do this? I got
Yes.
off this ride and I'm gonna die. But yeah, it's super cool. And now, one cool thing about it at Halloween, for Disney's Not So Scary, Mickey's Not So Scary, they call it, I don't know if it's called like pitch black, that's what I'm calling it. They turn off every single light in the ride.
No way.
So it is just darkness. And I've heard people like you either love it or you're just straight terrified. And I was like, sounds great, let's do it.
Yeah. I would do that. You gonna do that?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm
You
doing
do
it.
that.
Oh, for sure, I'm going. Yeah, for sure. But I like this one a lot. I love the old school, like, bobsled style seating. I know a lot of people don't like it, because you get in these things and you sit one by one, and the music isn't the same as Disneyland's, but I love just sitting. I like just having that spot to myself. Again, you can kind of, like, you almost stand up when you go down some drops, it feels like. And I love how Mad Mousey it is, because the one, again, I shouldn't compare it to Disneyland the whole time. Disneyland is very smooth and you sit side by side, but that one feels more like a toilet bowl.
Yeah.
This one is very much like, you're just going, you just do a drop and then you keep going around and you never know what's going to happen.
That's true.
It's so good. And I love how rickety it kind of feels. I like it, though there's a little bit of danger, and I'm like, ooh, there's just a smidge of danger. And that lift hill that you go up side by side, because there's 2 tracks, which is cool too.
Yeah,
I really need to experiment and see like which track is like the cooler one for me. I'm sure there's not too much of a difference. I think the one on the left is a little bit longer. I could be wrong on that. But anyway, the 2 lift hills going side by side, and in the middle the people movers going there, and you've got the spaceship or the shuttle with the astronauts and the control tower and all that. Oh, so good. I love Space Mountain, and it's a cool design. The building itself is incredible. I think it holds up. I think it looks lovely.
It's nice.
It just feels like the perfect marquee centerpiece to Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
I love it so much. How about you, Space Mountain?
Yeah, I mean, I used to go on that quite a bit.
Yeah.
As I've aged, I have had the reverse situation happen. If any of you have seen me doing streams without Jimmy, I get sick easily.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
So I get sick on it, but I will go on it. I was always like interested to wonder like why the line is so long in. I think that's because the track is so giant and like the whole mechanics of it all.
And it also goes underneath the railroad.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why it's so long. That's why you go like all the way down and then like whoop, whoop, like that. Also, pro tip, do not stare at the windows they have in there because they will mess you up.
Oh,
like
they do.
if you walk by them too quickly, you'll be like, ugh! Like,
yeah, they kind of
it's
like
this
move.
fish eye, like a bunch of stars. It's very strange.
Kind of similar to like the heads in like the Haunted Mansion as they like move.
Yes. Yep.
Similar to
Yep.
that.
Kind of similar to that.
But I was like that. I always was kind of freaked out by that, like escalatory type thing on the
At
way
the end.
out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
It's
then
a
they
little
have
freaky.
like randomly cameras on the way out as you're like going up, and they have like, do they have those still?
That's
Maybe
different
they don't.
right now. I'm not sure if that's the same way you can get out because they're doing stuff for Tron and there's like a new exit. I'm not sure if it's the same or not. But they used to, so it would like know your magic band. I think it would say stuff to you maybe, but they would have cameras pointing at you on the way out. You could like wave and see yourself.
Hey.
Yeah, that's where I usually vomit. No, just kidding. I didn't do that. Not there anyway. Yeah, Space Mountain's good. Also, they added like, remember when we were younger, they didn't have like the ceiling in the queue line?
Yeah.
Now they've got like that ceiling, so it's darker up there now.
Okay.
I think. So.
Oh, yep. So they used to have like almost a window so you could like see the galaxy.
Yeah.
And now it's gone.
I think it's gone, or at least it's different. It's changed. Yeah, it's more contained when you're on the ride. Anyway, I love Space Mountain. So again, let's top 5 it. Okay, what were your 5? Oh.
We have one more that Jimmy didn't know was happening.
I'm kidding. I'm back. What was it?
Technically should be on the top 5, but it wasn't for either of us. But I think growing up, it was like a big deal. The Jungle Cruise. Why aren't we talking about that, man?
Okay, Jungle Cruise. That's a good point. I was thinking about it. I think Jungle Cruise gets an honorable mention.
Yeah, honorable mention.
The ride itself is fine. I like the ambiance.
Yeah.
Obviously, it really scores high for that, especially at night because you feel like you're in the jungle.
That ride is cool.
Yeah, but you know, Jungle Cruise is really dependent on your skipper.
That's
And sometimes
true.
you have a skipper who's just like going down the list of jokes, but sometimes you get one that's amazing. Sometimes when you're a kid, they let you drive, which I swore as a child I was driving that boat. Definitely not. Like, I was not like, oh, steer it. They would not like let me do that. But I still love Jungle Cruise. It'll always have a place in my heart.
That's true.
I love it. Yeah. I like the one, but in Disneyland, it's kind of right next to Indiana Jones, which is kind of cool. But they don't have the Forbidden Temple, like in that one. So
It
I love
was
the
like
temple.
kind of spooky and like seeing
the tiger and stuff. Yeah,
his
it's
eyes
freaky.
are like glowing, and then like
Yeah.
the monkeys are just like chilling with the vases and
Yeah,
stuff.
I like it. I like Jungle Cruise a lot. Honorable mention for Jungle Cruise. I feel like it should be on there, but it didn't. For some reason, we didn't put it in there. Oh well, we still love you. We still love you, Jungle Cruise.
We love you.
You're one of our favorites, honorably. But anyway, top 5 again. Run them down from yours, from the bottom to the top.
Okay, we got Thunder, we got Pirates of the Caribbean, Peter Pan, Splash Mountain, and of course, Carousel of Progress.
Excellent. And for me, it was a people mover, Winnie the Pooh, many adventures of Winnie the Pooh,
Yeah.
I think. I want to say that right, because somebody out there will be like, you didn't say it correctly. Pirates of the Caribbean, Splash Mountain, and then Space Mountain. Oh, I love the mountains so much, especially as an adult. So much theming. That's how roller coasters should be done. Anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on. This is fun.
Yeah.
I hope everybody enjoyed it. Please leave your top 5 Magic Kingdom rides in the comments down below, and also let us know if you like this sort of thing, because we are not like necessarily turning into like a Disney Channel,
No.
but we kind of cover everything here in entertainment for critical reviews, and I'm going to Disney soon, so I figured this would be kind of fun to do. And if you guys want to see more, like have us go through each park, and then eventually we could even get into like restaurants and shows and all that other stuff, and even talk about the stuff on the West Coast, because I think we could do that. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Well, thank you for being on. Thank you for watching. If you want to support us, check us out on patreon.com/criticalreviews, or you can like and subscribe to this channel, or check out our Spreadshirt. Thank you. All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
In addition to beautiful Malaysia, Burma, Siam, and Cambodia, Lotus Tours offers 2 new destinations.